Welcome to Corewisdom, the channel for choice, worth, growth, and wisdom. All right, I am back on behalf of Corewisdom, and today I want to talk about a topic that kind of captured my attention, so to speak, because I came across this notion and it just ended up getting stuck in my brain. So maybe that's for a reason, maybe, I don't know. But the topic I want to talk about today is called spiritual narcissism. Ooh, that's tricky word maybe. It's it's sort of loaded with negativity. So I actually was a little unsecure if I was about to speak upon it today. But anyway, I think that the notion of this word, it needs to be said anyway, because I don't think it's spoken that much about in the society, and especially in the spiritual society. And I'm gonna try to bring in a little bit information on what it means to me, how I define it, and maybe at the end of the video I was thinking about perhaps turning a little practical and share some exercises with you that could be helpful, not just in this topic, but in feelings in general, especially those negative feelings. So, to the point, what do I mean by spiritual narcissism? Well, to me, I'm defining it uh, on the notion that sometimes when we are, during our spiritual journey, we are developing, and we are developing on individual plans, and we all have individual, how can I put it? We do it in our own personal tempo, so to speak. And we are all different, so we are all going different paths. And usually, very often we go 2 steps ahead, and then we go 1 back, and then we go 3 ahead, and then we rest for a bit. So that's the notion for any kind of development. But what I've noticed lately regarding this is that whether you like it or not, it's very easy to sort of fall into this feeling of judgmentality. I don't know if that's the right word, but when you sort of come across your own mind and you're thinking that you are better than someone else because you have evolved further. I'm not saying that this goes for everybody, but I do want to say that in some level, most of us had this or something similar thought occur to us. And we don't like to admit it. We don't like to admit that we get this, even if it's weak and you just blow it away. But no matter how faint or weak it seems, the thought comes. You feel like you had a spiritual development, and you come across some people, and maybe you have come a little further on your road than they have, and then this feelings comes up. And I think that you have to be pretty darn brave to sort of admit to yourself that this thought or feeling crosses your mind, because, as I was saying, most of us, we don't want to admit that that feeling has passed through us, has crossed our minds, because it's not appropriate in the spiritual realms or the spiritual society to have these kind of thoughts. But we all have them. They come and they go, but nobody wants to talk about it. And seeing like everything is energy, and when you have a certain energy and people come into your field, they feel your energy. So if you possess the energy of I have evolved higher than you, even if you don't say it with words, that thought has its own vibration and affects the person that are in your field anyway. And just try to imagine how you would feel if someone thought that about themselves around you, that they were better than you or higher developed than you. It doesn't give you any good feeling, does it? So I encourage you to try to become aware when this feeling or this thoughts occurs in your mind, and don't judge yourself for having these thoughts or feelings, because, as I said, we all have them from time to time, and we are humans. We live on this earth in this human suit, if you like, and that's the part of a part of the journey to be involved with human thought and human action. So don't ever judge yourself, but try anyway to be aware of when this thought crosses your mind, and try to uh, be aware of what it makes you feel. How does it make you feel when you become aware that you have these thoughts at some point? What does that do to your feelings about yourself? And as I was saying, do not judge yourself, but try to just get a little taste of how it makes you feel when you are able to recognize that these are thoughts that you have had at some point. And just stay in that feeling for a moment and remember that this is the kind of feelings that you might inflict on others when you are having these thoughts, because I don't know, I may be walking on deep waters here, but I just want to address this because I think it's very important. We are really not enough aware of how our thoughts and feelings are inflicting those around us. Everybody is constantly focusing on the positive and the love vibration and the harmony, and oh, I want to bring harmony and love to everybody. And that's beautiful. I encourage you to continue with that. But I will also encourage you to maybe not focus on it, but be aware of it and then let it go. Because in order to let go of negative and thoughts and feelings that are coming from our egos, we need to first be aware of them before we can let them go. So I don't know if any one of you out there uh, can remember the last time you had those kind of feelings or thoughts. I have them. We all have. And I'm trying to become aware of them whenever they occur. And I'm trying not to judge myself, because that's a trap that we easily can fall into when we are talking about these kind of topics. It's very easy to judge yourself, because you shouldn't be having those feelings when you are practicing love and energy work. But as I was saying, we are all humans, and it's a part of the human experience. That does not justify it. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that don't remember to be a human in everything. If we were all saints and angels, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be in this human suit having this experience. We would be somewhere else having another experience. But here we are on Earth as humans, and with all those experience that comes along with being a human. So, of course, approach other people with love, but remember to also approach yourself with love and embrace all of what you are, both the positive and the negative. We are blessed, I think, to be on this earth at this time, and we are able to experience a life of polarity. And that's very exciting, because think of it, when you appreciate love and light and positive vibrations and feelings, you know that that's a very good thing. You can acknowledge and be aware of that it feels good to you. But if we weren't in a polarized society, or if we weren't having this polarized experience, you wouldn't be able to such a degree to appreciate the love and the light and the harmony and the pleasures of life if you didn't know what the opposite was. So, whenever you are having a negative experience, remember to say thank you, and just state for yourself or to the universe or to your guides or whatever that I'm thankful for this experience because it's going to teach me something. And the next time I am in the atmosphere of love and excitement and joy and light, it will make me appreciate it even more. That was a little side note, a little diversion, but uh, back to the notion of spiritual narcissism. I just want to get back to these expressions again, because we also live in a society that um, when you're practicing as a spiritual teacher or a spiritual healer, um, there are certain guidelines from the material world. We are supposed to have a degree and a certificate, and also a lot of schools and courses, and that's very good. That means that they can signal to the world around that you are certified and you know what you're doing. But it's very easy to get caught up also in this, to get caught up in your titles, and to get caught up in your degrees and your diplomas. And that's a path that can lead to this so called spiritual narcissism. So I think that focus on the work that you do. Focus on having a clear and harmonized intention in your work, or whenever you are interfering with people around you. Try to stay in that harmonized frequency and be aware of your own feelings, your own thoughts. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be happy about your degrees or your own personal development, because we are allowed to feel joy about that. Of course, I think that's very important. As spiritual beings, we are going to through many hardships through life. We are going to hard ordeals, and some of us are taking advanced classes or schools that, well, takes a lot of energy and demands a lot from us. So you are entitled to be proud of what you have achieved, but don't let your results define you. Don't let your results tell you that makes you better than someone that doesn't have these degrees or diplomas. We are all here to have different experiences, because, as I have been talking about earlier, we are the seeds of God, and God is experiencing itself through us and everything else that lives. So we need to have a lot of experiences, because eventually the information of our experience, that is what we are going to bring back to the source when we are done in this particular life. Remember that we are all experiencing, so we can bring back information, bring back knowledge to the creator, to the source. And that embodies everything, good and bad. And Earth and this dimension, it's, how can I put this? It's rare, sort of, to have the ability to embody this type of polarized frequency, a polarized life. Think about all the enlightenment beings or the angelic beings. They don't know. They have never felt the other side of this polarity. They only know love. They only know divine light and divine love. But we, as humans, we have this full-on human experience. And that, for me, is true mastery. All right, so I was saying in the beginning of the video that I wanted to become just a little practical and maybe give you some tools to, I don't know, process some negative feelings, because I think it's important to acknowledge them and then work with them so we can let them go. And although I was pointing at the spiritual narcissism thermology, this also applies to other feelings that might be negative for you, and maybe it's hard for you to release negative feelings. So you can use this tool at any type of feeling that you want to work through. It's a short, simple visualizing exercise that I often use for myself when I find it necessary. So what I want you to do is to picture that feeling or that thought or that the problem you have, that you are, um, maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's spiritual narcissism, maybe it's sadness, I don't know, whatever, it can be anything. But I want you to picture this feeling or this thought as a ball of mud. And it can be as large as you want, or it can be as small as you want. That's up to you. Just follow your inner vision on this. So I want you to picture this ball of mud, and you can add color to it. You can add some greasy color to it, maybe some dirty dark brown or green or any color you associate with something negative. And as you are seeing this ball of mud, then I want you to start sending light to this ball of mud in the awareness that this is the thing you want to work through. So start pouring out divine light to this ball of mud. And as you do, you will see that this ball of mud just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So the more light you can pour into this ball of mud, the smaller it will get. And you can do this for as long as you feel the need to do it. And eventually, you will see that this ball of mud, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And at the end, it will dissolve. It will just vaporize into nothing. And this is an exercise that I find very useful whenever I have a reoccurring negative thought or feeling. I try to envision this ball of mud and pouring out light on it, making it smaller and smaller until it dissolves. So that was just a little exercise that I hope can be helpful. And so I wish you all a fantastic day on. And remember to subscribe to our channel if you aren't already. And also click the bell button so that you get notifications every time we come up with new content. And like our video if you like the content. Share it if you want. That will make us happy. Okay. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful, bright day. Bye then.